the book report with Courtney and John. I am Courtney.
I am John.
Today we are reading The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. This is a fantasy novel. This book is actually about a princess, the Princess Eliza, and it begins with her wedding, which came out of the blue. And something about Eliza, she's fat. She is a fat princess. But something else about her that's important to note is she is the bearer of the Godstone. One person is chosen to bear the Godstone once every 100 years or 4 generations. They are supposed to
Perform some type of act throughout their life. This act of service is ultimately the reason why her marriage is happening. This King Alejandro from
Joya
de Arena wants to marry her to help his kingdom out because there's an impending war that's going to happen.
She is dealing with being a princess. Well, now the princess no longer. She's a queen now. So she's a queen. She's a mom. She is the bearer of the Godson. She's a wife.
However, it is important to note that even though she is a wife, she does not have those wifely duties.
Yeah. Because honestly, Alejandro kind of hides their marriage at first. There's political intrigue. She has to endure a kidnapping. This long trek across the desert, guerrilla warfare.
Yes. And she is very well read.
She's extremely well read. She knows a lot about everything, just no practical experience. So that pretty much covers our summary
of the book without giving too much away.
Okay, so how about we break for a commercial break?
Okay.
And we'll be back to you with themes.
Saskatchewan Syrup is a proud sponsor of the Book Report. Made in the deep southern woods of Canada, so good a Sasquatch would eat it. It's that yummy.
Welcome back to the Book Report with Courtney and John. We are here to discuss themes. Take us off, John.
Okay, what we'd like to discuss right now is religion, how it's portrayed in this book. Something that's fun about my copy here is it has some extra stuff in the back, including a couple of interviews with the author, Ray Carson. And something that she mentions that's very important here is she says 83% of Americans believe in God. She wanted to have a religious character, a religious protagonist in this case, who she is religious, but the way that religion portrayed, it's definitely not Christianity.
It mentions God, and you never rarely get, like he was saying, a certain religion with that. It could be any God, really. It's very open to interpretation. And she herself, since she is the bearer of the Godstone, is very connected with prayer and this God. When she prays and such, her Godstone warms her body.
There's a very real
connection
there. She feels the presence of God. Something that she is not familiar with, however, is another religious text. The new text is by a previous bearer named Homer, and it's called the Afflatus. He was a Mason. He's the first bearer, and his big service was prophecy. And he begins it, interestingly enough, with this section. It is I, Homer the Mason, chosen of God to bear his stone. To the families survived of God's righteous right hand, now scattered to the edge of the sand, greetings. And what I think is cool here is keeps being referenced that God picked up these people in his righteous right hand and delivered them from some previous danger and placed them on this continent. And the right hand is very, very prevalent.
This text was not mentioned to her was because of one word change.
Something that is mentioned is that Orval was originally part of Joya de Arena, but they split centuries ago based off of a religious difference. But they're not necessarily a different religion, but different interpretation of the text.
I think that covers pretty much everything that we're discussing with the religion. So
Okay.
you have something else to add?
No, I think that's about it. So how about go ahead and go back to our sponsors for a message, and we'll be back.
With characters.
All right.
The book report is brought to you in part by Good Hands Insurance. Are you in good hands?
Hello, welcome back to the book report with Courtney and John. We are here to discuss characters right now. And the main character that we want to focus on is Zamina, Elise's guardian.
Mm-hmm. Guardian and nurse.
Nurse, yes. It is important to note that Elise has never had a mother. Her mother died giving birth to her, and so Zamina is kind of like that mother figure. When you first are introduced to her, you don't really know a lot about her. However, shortly into the novel, during this attack, you get real awakening of who Zamina is.
Check this out. This is from the end of chapter 3. After Elisa and King Alejandro got married, they are taking a caravan through the jungle, and they're attacked by these people called the Perdidos. After the attack, Elisa is dealing with a prisoner of the Perdidos. So this section is on page 36 of what I have. Then he stiffens. His fingers have glanced across the godstone beneath my bloody skirt. I know what he feels. A faceted surface, hard as diamonds, but worn with life. He recoils. You, he whispers. His eyes are wide and wet with frightened tears. His breath comes in gasps. Someone lunges forward, a blur of gray hair and ruffled skirts. A gurgling sound, a body slapping the ground. Zamina. She backs away, and I see her prisoner lying flat on his back, my nurse's hairpin protruding from beneath his jaw. I stare at the pin, so tiny, at the blood pooling around it, slipping across his skin into the jungle soil. So sorry, my sky. I thought he was about to attack you. She might have been telling me I was late for the morning prayer.
Oh, that part still gives me chills. After this, you kind of get really... Elise starts wondering about Zamina really fast. Like, whoa, who is this lady who's been here 16 years of my life? She discovers that Zamina worked as a scribe in the monastery with the priest, and that is something she enjoys. And Elise is like, how did I never realize this? And also with the hairpin incident, Elise comes back to that a lot of times throughout the novel of, my nurse can kill somebody with the hairpin.
It's something that creates a lot of tension. She doesn't know that. What if this person finds out?
Yeah.
Zamina will kill him. What if this person finds out? Zamina will kill her. She does not know. What this reminds me of? Batman. Alright, because Zamina is like Alfred. And Elisa is Bruce Wayne. Because when you think about it, like, Zamina, much like Alfred, hired by Elisa's parents to watch over her and guide her, and also is in a servant-type position, but has a history that when you get into it, you find out they're a lot more capable. Something that's very important about their relationship is the love there.
Yeah. She's a very interesting character as the book goes along.
She's my favorite, I think.
Yeah, she definitely is. I mean, there's some competing characters, but I definitely like her.
Yeah, she's very rich and like very fleshed out, and like I like her a lot. Okay, so while we go ahead and break for commercial here, we'll be back to you in a moment to discuss symbols.
Funding for the book report is provided by Luchador Lucre, the bank for wrestlers by wrestlers.
Welcome back to the book report with Courtney and John. We're going to talk now about the symbols, and what we have decided to discuss is food. Because
Definitely.
everything about this book is food.
Especially at the beginning. That's very, very prevalent.
Elisa has an unhealthy coping mechanism of eating. When she's nervous, when she's scared, when she's bored,
Yeah, remember, she is not a skinny princess.
she's not skinny. But food. She is all about pastry. At the very beginning, after having
A failed wardrobe attempt, pretty much, with her wedding dress.
she goes down to the kitchen, and when he sees me, the kitchen master grins beneath a flour-dusted mustache and shoves a plate at me. The pastry on it is flaky and golden, dusted with ground pistachios and glazed with honey. My mouth waters. I tell him I'll need 2. And then she has a brief conversation and argument with her older sister. And this is just, very short, this section. But because
a lot is revealed in that section.
Oh, yeah.
Because Eladia is everything. She's the older sister. However, she is everything Lisa is not.
After this argument, she's upset once more, or still. I take the second pastry. It doesn't taste like anything anymore, but it's something to do. Oh man, that's not healthy. That's not good decision making skills right there.
When something doesn't taste like anything, that's a sign right there to just stop. Mm-hmm. However, it's something to do. Why she turns to food because she can eat. That's something she can do. Because you got to remember, in Orville, she is not the heir to the throne, so she is not, a particularly needed person at meetings of state or political functions or, decisions of war, that kind of thing. She's kind of brushed off to the side.
And food is her comfort.
Yeah.
Now, later on, after she goes to the Joy to Arena and then is kidnapped, her trek through the desert, she is starving. She's so hungry that she's getting the same amount of food as everybody else, and it's not the pastries and essentially eating rat stew. But during that trek, she's lost that focus on food and loses a lot of weight and starts getting a lot of confidence. Because she no longer has that as her mechanism for coping, she has to find other methods.
Yes.
She has to rely more on herself than things outside of herself. Mm-hmm. Once again, my copy includes a recipe for honey coconut scones, which is described as, I believe, her favorite pastry. So I made a couple of these.
They look very good.
I hope they are. Yeah. Good, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think that is all for our break. I think we're gonna polish this plate off. Outro out, and we'll enjoy our scones. Thank you for joining us for the book report with Courtney and John, and we'll see you next time.